Lucky? Hey. Lucky.
Here we go, live again. There's Diaz and Lucky Luke out. You can't get too much Lucky Luke, can you?
Ο Lucky Luke είναι το πιο χαρούμενο και ευτυχισμένο σκυλάκι που είναι εδώ. Αυτό το σκυλάκι το είχαν αφήσει στον δρόμο. Μετά τα ποδαράκια. Αλλά νομίζω ότι είναι το πιο χαρούμενο και το πιο ευτυχισμένο σκυλάκι σήμερα. Και πολύ καλός. Και ο Δίας μας είναι καλός.
So what George is saying basically is our special Lucky Luke here. He loves a cuddle, look at him. Luke, I'm saying. Yeah, Lucky Luke was basically one of the dogs that was a municipality dog, and he was going to be put out into the street with his disabled front legs to do what he needed to do to survive. Hopefully find one of the good Greeks that feeds them to look after him. But obviously he's not a dog that could just survive on the streets with no help. So George found out about what was happening and took him. And he's a bit of a star, aren't you? Saying that Luke is a good dog, as is Diaz. Diaz is a super dog as well. So it's we've had a little tiny bit of rain today, but not a lot. We've managed to get... He's off, he's a monkey, Lucky Luke. What's he got? He's got something he shouldn't have. Oh no, Luke.
Salami.
No, he's picked up the knife that George uses to cut the salami that we put the medication in. So we've got a second barrel up here today. We now have 2 barrels. And they each take 4 sacks of food. What are you doing, Lucky Luke? Eh? What do you see? So now we have, say, the capacity for basically a week's worth of food. So, Vio Varelia, Tessera Sakula Fahito, which means that George doesn't need to be storing it in the kennels, which is really good news. George has again, while I've been doing the poop scooping, been securing the fencing. It's a bit of a long job, but he is getting there with it. So we now have 2 pens that are ready for their new occupants, and hopefully in the next couple of days we're going to be seeing some activity there. We can get 1 dog at a time, one of the big dogs at a time in the back of the chimney, along with the other bits of food and sacks and other things. So we have a plan, because we obviously need as well to make sure we preserve well the food that we do bring up here. And George bought one of these shelter things, so we're going to get some more of these. It just keeps the food dry in the wet weather. And he's going to get some more of those. We're planning to get 4 more. We just have to time what we do, what we put into the back of the chimney, to make sure we get first and foremost food and water, and then these storage items up. So here we go. They're falling out with each other. It's George again. George is being a bit naughty. He tries to provoke Diaz, and Diaz, look at him, he's really naughty with Diaz. He's lucky Diaz doesn't turn on him, because Diaz is a really good dog, and he's got a marvellous temperament. Ella, Lucky Luke! Ella, though! You can't get too much Lucky Luke, can you? Look at him go. He is a super little dog. I love this dog. If I was going to take one dog home with me back to England, it would be this little dog. But I have a big bull terrier who's just about to do his business. I'll not embarrass him by showing that. So we have a few more kennels here to be put into the pens. And as I say, we're hoping to get Ducas. We've got 2 Ducases actually. We have a Ducas who's a bull terrier, and then an orangey coloured Ducas who was my first rescue. I say my first rescue, the first one George had in when I was here. A lady actually found him in the street and brought him to us, so it wasn't a spectacularly exciting rescue, but Dukas was my first new dog, so I have a bit of a soft spot for him, and he's definitely a woman's dog. He's very food protective with George, even though it's George that feeds him. But Dukas thinks he's my dog, and he's not the sort of dog that would be easy to adopt, so maybe he's right, maybe he is mine. In a little bit of a way anyway. I'm very fond of Dukas. So Dukas' pen we were working on yesterday, and the plan is to get him relocated. He's going to be in the pen next to Astro, which is also ready for moving in. We just have to find a big crate. The back of the Suzuki isn't secure, so we do need to be extra careful with it being a soft top. Because obviously if a big dog gets out on the motorway, that won't be what we want. So there's Astro's pen, and Dukas is going in here. There's a plant that I need to cut down because George has told me that plant there, it's gone out of focus, that plant is not good for dogs. So I need to cut that down, and we need to move that water pipe as well. But other than that, the fence is all ready to go. The enclosure's all ready to go, along with this one. We just need to revarnish that kennel, because one or two of them, how they're positioned, they get a lot of water on them. And we want a double varnish to make sure it's not degraded by the water. So George is feeding the dogs now. We clean first, and George does a bit of work, as I say, securing the fencing, and then he does the feeding. He knows what quantities the dogs need, and then he prepares the medication. We both give them it now, but he knows what tablets they need, so he prepares that. So this is today's update. Everything is still going well for us. So we've got barrels of food up, 2 now. The plan is 4 barrels. And they're the first priority. We've got plenty of water up here at the moment, and we're bringing that up on a daily basis as well, and just keeping supplies updated so that if there is another problem we don't just run out or find ourselves with nothing. And then we're going to bring these food shelter things, the metal food shelters, you can see. I'm not sure if that's Daisy or Frank in there. In fact, it's both of them. How lovely. So there you have Daisy and Frank enjoying their dinner. They're a little bit shy, these two. Ellie's looking at placing them in foster care. We were put back by the storm because obviously we couldn't carry them out, but we should be in a position to take those 2 little dogs to Ellie, and they'll go into foster care where they'll be a bit more socialised with people. They are 2 lovely little dogs. The fairer one on the right is Daisy, and the darker one is Frank, named after 2 of our supporters. So there we go. Right, so I'm going to start doing the water now with George once he's finished food. It's food first, then water. So that's the end of today's live update. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day. And we'll no doubt keep up with you, keep you up to date in the not too distant future. Bye.